Hello my dear friends, here's Martin aka Mad Max. At the beginning of this video I really have to apologize because of me butchering the name of this or the brand name of this flashlight. urFLAMP, urFLAMP, or there is an F at the beginning, hope you can see. Is it urFLAMP? I'm not sure. So please do not be angry with me. Maybe I will use different variations of how I think that will be named. So I have to say thank you for urFLAMP to sending me a sample of their new V63S for Spotlight. They have a Kickstarter campaign running at the moment, and you will find a link in the video description to their Kickstarter page. When I received it in this bag. There is accessories as a lanyard, a USB cable for charging and two O-rings, and there is a magnetic tail cap I will explain later to you, and the user manual is just a printout and so small I needed magnifying glasses to read it. All of the data or some things, sometimes I will insert pictures for you to be easy to understand what I'm speaking of. The first thing I found out is that they might have looked at the competitioner's webpage for their version and got a lot of inspirations, let's say it that way. The SFT40 LED they use and a TRI optic is quite known to the industry. Also the shape of the flashlight. Here on the back side there is an USB-C port under a rubber flap, which I have to say holds quite well, so it doesn't easily open by itself. They say that there is a Powerbank feature, but when I tested it, it did not work with my testing dongle, and usually that's just an LED that lights up, and because sometimes some electronics would not accept the USB-C charging, but this always works for me, but it didn't work here, so maybe there is a need to a special adapter which was not included. We have a main switch here which is illuminated, and the color of the LED, green, orange and red, tell you about the charging status of the battery. And with the battery there is an interesting feature. Now it's in an 18350 setup, but you can screw it longer and extend it so that the battery tube can fit an 18650 cell for, as they say, even a higher output possible, because of there's more amps usually in the 18650s than in the 18350s. And this feature is also, I would say, not invented by urFLAMP. They have seen it on another manufacturer's page, maybe. But it's possible they hadn't had an internet access at all, and they have been sitting in their office thinking about this solution by their own. So that's possible too. So I dimmed the light a little bit so I can show you the beam shape. The SFT40 LED is known to be a very throwy LED, and in combination with this TRR we get a really nice beam shape. I will show you some outdoor pictures later. And when we are here I can explain the user interface, holding the side switch so it starts in a low, holding then cycles low, medium, high. A double click gives you turbo. A triple click gives the strobe, which has an alternating frequency. Another triple click starts the SOS. So that's nothing new, but it's nice to have and very common, and I really like it. I like to have switching on a last mode memory, hold the switch. I have the lowest setting so I do not blind myself, and a double click from off gives you instant turbo. Triple click from off also gives you instant strobe. So all boxes checked on the user interface. On the back side there are threads. This is meant so you can attach this magnetic stand. So it could stand in that way, and you could swivel it a little bit through, there is a ball in there. So if you have some kind of a magnetic base, you can have it in different angles if you have the need to. And of course, if you have the magnet on the side, would also be possible, but this is very slippery, so it doesn't hold in a side position. Also, if you try to turn, sometimes the threads come loose. Yeah, not sure about that. But what you can do also, because this is standard threads here, you can use maybe a selfie stick or some kind of a tripod or something like that in the other stand, and you can have the light on different ways. So there is many possibilities. Some may work better than my trials here. Before I show you all my numbers and results, a small disclaimer. I do not have scientific grade equipment or something like that. I have hobbyist equipment, I have a self-bit Lumen tube, so please take my numbers with a grain of salt. If you have seen some of my reviews, you probably know this kind of table I use to see how a flashlight performs. The first one is the measurements taken with the 18350 that have been coming with the flashlight. There is the rated numbers that are printed on the manual or the boxing or the web page, and there is measured which the numbers are I got. And they rate initial 1500 lumens for turbo. And on switch on, I got 1610 lumens of them. But much more important is the numbers at 30 seconds. Because 30 seconds is where ANSI FL1 defines you are allowed to take the data you can advertise your flashlight with. Because a lot of manufacturers just get the highest number and do not care that after 30 seconds most of the light is gone already. So that's some kind of not being honest to the customers. But urFLAMP did a great job. I had 1520 lumens after 30 seconds, which is exactly as they gave the specs for the flashlight. And after 1 minute, there's 1450 lumens left. That's a lot, that's good. And they state on their homepage that the output, the turbo, is lasting for 1 minute, and then it has to be lowered due to heat reasons, obviously. And if you look at this graph I took, so I took the whole runtime here, there is the initial brightness, and after exactly 1 minute it drops to about 20%, which is 500, I got 540, something like that. So 20% of the initial brightness is what they had for 1 hour and 4 minutes, which also perfectly matches their specs. So I'm impressed by that. So the turbo after 90 seconds was 487, and there's different runs, so the numbers might vary a little bit because of the temperatures, of course. But that is what you see in the real world too. High is rated for 500, it gave me 510. Mid is 220 rated, 227 in my trials. Low matched exactly the 60, and Moon was just below around half a lumen, but that's hard to measure, to be honest, with my equipment. And I was impressed with the throw. It's rated for 66,000 candelas. I got the 5 meter measuring distance above 100,000, which is good for 640 meters of throw after switching on. So that's the maximum value, which, because there is a high lumen output, it was to be expected. But if you switch it on, there is more than 600 meters of throw instead of the 514 meters they are claiming. So that's good too. So they made everything right. And here is in a different graph form if you prefer that, so you can see the numbers line up a lot. Another problem was with the 18650. On their web page they give about 2000 lumens, but I tried 10 different cells, high output cells, and the best I could achieve was 1850 with my battery, which was based on a Samsung 30Q cell. So I also saw due to the high heat, it was heating up faster, and it could not hold the full minute. So, but I did not have their cell. I did some different trial. So if you use your 18650, you might maybe see something like that, near to the 2000, but due to the high heat, it was switching down faster. Maybe if you are in a cool setup, it could be longer a little bit. And here is a turbo runtime. During the night, the setting was cooler, and you can see here I was able to maintain the full power for the full minute before it started to descend in the brightness. And then also here it's about those 18% here because of the higher starting point. Before I show you the beam shots I took last night, I want to say thanks again to urFLAMP for sending me their V63 flashlight and allow me to test it. If you have any questions regarding my tests, my numbers, my way to review something like that, feel free to comment my video. Tell me your opinion if my way of showing things is helping you understanding how a flashlight works. So that's the urFLAMP V63, the spotlight version. I guess you cannot see the moon, that's low. Easy to use for walking down there the road. Medium, that's high. And in front of there, let's do the turbo. So you can see a very nice beam and a very concentrated beam shape. So the low, medium, and in medium with my bare eyes I can easily see 50 meters. That's the high down there, and that's the turbo. As you can see, the road down there, the crossing, and also the woods are available to see. So thanks for watching and see you next time. Bye bye.